Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Kevin. Wondering if you can hear me there. I see some people in the comments. Say a word if you can hear me. I did a mic check and everything, but I'm an audio guy. I'm always afraid that the mic's going to be not on or something. Um, so good to be with you guys today. It's a rainy day here in Nashville. Got a lot that I want to just chat about today. I don't really have a tutorial or anything, but I do have something I think is going to help a little bit later. I'm gonna tell a story about a friend of mine that I talked to this weekend about. He asked me if I was ever fully satisfied with my mixes, and I had to think about that for a second. So I'm gonna share that story with you in just a little bit. Hey, do you guys like the little blue light behind me? I just got that this morning, thanks to David Henry over at Learn Stage Lighting. He hooked me up with a light that he had there, and I think it's really cool. So anyway, I'll always love it. I love new plugins, love new toys. So anyway, I see. Let's see, Paul Tisdale, Paul T. I'm assuming that's Paul Tisdale or Tizzy. Anthony Getting, and Anthony. Hey, let me chat with you about the October thing coming up. It's a little on the fence, but I'll let you know a little bit about that later. Okay. Hey, so let's say I wanted to say thanks again. We've got just over 10,000 subscribers now on the YouTube channel and Mix Coach, and I'm really happy about that. Thank you guys for the ones who've subscribed, and thank you for the ones who rang the bell. And hey, Tassie, hey, Comfort, good to see all you guys here this morning. I'm curious, how did you hear about this today? Was it from the email? Was it from the notification that you got from YouTube? I'm curious to know how you find out about it, because I would love for more people to show up, because I would love for this to become the live thing, to become more of a thing, because I do like doing this. I like talking to you guys. I would love to interview some of you guys if you're interested in being interviewed, or talk to you about your studio, or maybe a problem that pops up. I would love to be able to chat with you. Comfort says email and notification, both email. Okay, cool. So I'm just curious how I know that sometimes I get notifications when somebody goes live, but usually it's a few minutes late, and I usually show up a little late. So maybe I should start going live a little early. So anyway, hey, I wanted to mention one other thing too before we get started. David Roberts gets Facebook notifications. That's good to know. Anthony rang the bell for notifications and got an email notification on the YouTube app. So you got all the channels coming in. That's good. And then David Roberts says, I get Facebook notifications. That's cool. Because you know what? It's harder to put, Tassie says email. It's harder to put a lot of tutorials on Facebook for me right now. And it's easier to do the live thing. So anyway, okay, so wanted to mention one thing here to you. If you guys need any help, I would love to help. I've got a coaching program, and I'd love to tell you about it. If you want to go to this link right here, and we'll sign up for a quick call, find out what you need, and if I can help. And if I can, we'll go from there. Okay, so mixcoach.com/coaching. So let me get a quick sip here of good old Southern sweet tea in a coffee cup, so you'll think I'm more sophisticated than I am. Okay, so the other day, I was talking to a friend of mine who's a very good mixer, a very accomplished musician, and he said, man, have you ever been satisfied with one of your mixes? And I said, yeah, I have, but I think I've got a different mindset about mixing than some people do. I think some people, and let me know if this rings a bell with any of you guys. Mixing can be one of those things where you think you have to go what my friend Michael Sykes calls going for the Grammy, and you feel like you have that your mix has to be absolutely perfect. And it's one of those things where it can hold you back really a lot, because mixing is one of those things where you kind of lay it all on the line, and you feel like you're either good enough or you're not. And I'm sure that this is where my friend was at this time when he asked me this. He said, have you ever been satisfied with one of your mixes? And I said, man, mixing is like a picture. It's like a snapshot in time. It's not a movie. And if you wait to get the perfect picture, first of all, the people that are behind the camera or in front of the camera that are waiting for you to take their picture are going to get frustrated with you because have you ever, okay, has this ever happened to you? Somebody's taking a picture, they picked up their phone and they go, okay, everybody smile. Everybody, here we go. Okay, can you move over just a little bit? Okay, smile. 3, 2, hey, can you move forward just a little bit? I mean, and they take forever to take the picture. By the time you get that picture, everybody's like, nobody's smiling anymore. Everybody's frustrated with you because you won't take the picture, right? Or worse, they've got the video camera rolling and you see everybody's like doing this, because they are trying to navigate smiling and being frustrated at the same time. So mixing is like that in a way, in the fact that you don't learn from a picture that you're trying to take. You learn from a picture that you took and looked at later. I want to say that again. You don't learn from a picture that you're about to take. You learn from a picture that you've taken and you're analyzing it. You're comparing it to other pictures and you say, okay, next time I'd like to use more backlight, or I would like to use more, or maybe it's the wrong time of the day. Golden hour, I never knew about golden hour. Golden hour is that time in the morning when the sun first comes up and it's really low in the sky. And then the worst time is probably noon when it's dead in the sky. And I know I'm talking about pictures a lot, but I was on a video shoot yesterday and I learned a lot. Or golden hour is at night or in the evening at dusk when the sun is low in the sky again. Not everybody knows that. And if you wait through golden hour to take a picture, you're going to frustrate people, right? So mixing is the same way. Mixing is one of those things where it's a picture, it's a snapshot. It's one of those things where you have to take the best picture that you can with what you have to take it with the subject that you have to take it with, beautiful or not, and you have to take the picture and you have to look at the picture. And then the revisions are like, you like that? You want to do another one? I wasn't smiling. Let's take another one. Those are revisions. Mixing is like that. And if you will think of mixing like that, in the fact that I'm going to do the best job that I can with the camera I've got. Okay, I'm going to move away from the picture thing. I'm going to do the best mix I can with the song that I have, with the musicianship that's on the song, with the amount of talent that the person that has singing it, with the time that I have given myself or have been given to mix the song, and how much budget you have, how many plugins you've got. And that's why having more plugins is not necessarily a good thing, because it just makes your decision-making process a little bit more. Now, with that being said, you have to deliver the mix at some point. That's why it's always good. That's why we do on Mix Coach Member. We do challenges sometimes, and that'll be, mix with one plugin, or mix this in an hour, or mix this, there's a thing that I've taught before, the 3 minute, 29 second challenge, like doing a mix in one pass of a song, like the length of the song you have to get the mix. Because I don't think a lot of people realize, who've never worked with very demanding and in demand musicians, they have high expectations of engineers, and pulling up a great mix is not something that it's something that is done on the fly, and you have to do it quickly. And a mix is like that. Now, do you eventually do templates and have your go-to plugins, your go-to verbs, your go-to methods of getting a good mix? Yes, you absolutely do. Just like a photographer goes with a certain camera and a certain lens and maybe a certain lighting kit, or maybe a certain pose of people, or even a certain scene where he'll take some people to to a certain field or a certain part of the forest where you take pictures. Absolutely, you develop those go-tos after a while, but you never get those templates by taking one picture. You've got to get past the idea that you can nail your first mix, because the first mix, as happy as you might be about it, or as happy as somebody might be about it, you're always going to improve it. And that's way, and it's that, doing mixes is like a cog in the wheel. If you get stuck in one, you're never going to make any progress. You've got to continuously do it. And I found that, by teaching people how to mix and how to think about mixes and stuff like that, my mixes have improved over time. It doesn't matter how much experience you have. Unless you get to where you just can't even hear audio at all. I mean, I'm not even saying people that lose some of their top end as they get older, their mixes can still improve. But the thing about it is you have to keep creating mixes, and you have to keep taking those snapshots, because if the second that you think about mixing as being the one end all be all representation of what you can do, is when you start to get down on yourself, and you start to lose your self-esteem, and you start to lose your confidence as a mixer. And I can tell you, there's nothing worse than losing your confidence as a mixer. So the best way you grab that back is mix instinctively, mix like a musician would play an instrument, and just get the mix done, and learn from the mix you've done already. Just like a picture, you compare your mix to another mix, and you say, okay, I can see where my snare drum was not loud enough on this mix. The next time, I'm either going to compare that mix to a new mix to this one, or I'm going to, find that benchmark mix that I like and compare my mix to that, so that I get a little closer to what I'm hearing in my mind. Another idea would be, if you went to see a band live, right? And the band is rehearsing on the stage during the concert. That's not the time to be rehearsing, right? You should have done all your homework before then, because when people come to hear you play as a musician, you've got to play the set, whether or not you missed it or not. Unless you're doing a live record or something, you never hear somebody say, you know what, Sweet Home Alabama didn't turn out the way we wanted it to, so we're going to do it again. And this time, we're going to play a little slower, or this time we're not going to play the snares as hard, or this time the mixing engineer, the live mix guy, is going to unmute the vocal in time. You don't do that. You learn from what you've already done. You usually don't learn it while you're doing it, right? You learn a lot while you're doing it, but you learn the lion's share of things when you get it done. Okay. So anyway, does that make sense to everybody? That's just one thing that kind of struck home with me. Now, there's another example where it's actually the opposite in living your life. Your life is a movie, and you can't define your life by one scene of the movie, because that scene is either coming out of or going into something else big in your life. So if you kind of try to sum up yourself by one snapshot of a movie, which is your life, then you get a false picture of what you are. I talked to another friend of mine about that, who was down on himself about something. And I said, okay, mixing may be a snapshot, and you capture the best snapshot you can. Your life is a series of snapshots that keep moving. So anyway, don't want to get too deep there. But anyway, let's see. Gregory Price says, does the mix convert or not? Achieve the goal of the song? Yeah, that's a good way to do it. And Gregory, you're a great mixer. That sometimes, they say that mixes are abandoned. They're never finished. They're abandoned, which, is more true than you think, because you have to, at some point you have to just move on and call it done, whether or not you're 100% satisfied with it or not. You have to, it has to be one of those things where you're satisfied enough with it, right? It's perfect enough, and done is better than perfect. So, yeah. So Paul said, well said, makes sense to me. Thank you, Paul. Blake, hope you're doing well. You'll be in town next week. Holler at me. I won't be here Monday. I'm going on a little trip with my family. So Anthony says, makes total sense. It's like perfection can kill momentum and ultimately profitability. That's absolutely right, Anthony. Perfection can kill momentum, and momentum is something that, oh my gosh, something I've been thinking about so much lately is the power of momentum. When I'm in a studio, like when I'm doing vocals, um, trying to get that perfect vocal take is impossible, especially when somebody's got red lightus, and they kind of freeze up a little bit when the red light comes on. They know that their reputation's on the line, that they're either a good singer or not based on this first pass. It's just not true. And when I'm doing vocals, I try to create this momentum with a singer to where we may not be getting the end product, but we are making progress. And that's one of the reasons I'm so big on comping vocals. And if you don't know how to comp vocals, I have a course for that. I'll put it in the description below. But if you're comping vocals, then you create this momentum by letting somebody sing either a section of a song or the whole song from front to back, the way they're used to singing it, the way humans were designed to sing is a song, not necessarily a line or a word, because that creates this. You ever seen water circling the inside of a drain? It kind of creates something like that. Sometimes if you don't have a singer that has the confidence and knows what you're doing and knows what they're doing, you can create this terrible lack of momentum if you don't do it. So that's why I comp vocals. And a lot of times I will let someone, especially somebody who's not as experienced in the studio, I will let them sing from front to back. And I learned this from my friend Michael Sykes too. I will stand up in the control room and I'll be a cheerleader, because there's something about a vocalist performing that's natural. It's something that they're used to doing. People are used to having response. That's one of the reasons that I love the comments so much here, because I'm not talking face to face. I can't read whether you're going, yeah, it makes sense, or like this. I can't read that unless I'm seeing your comments. And if we were talking in a room, I would know whether I'm making a point well or not by your facial expression. Same thing with the singer. When they're singing, what I like to do is have them face me and let them know that I love that line. And yes, you nailed it. And then you'll see the performance level come up. You have to create momentum. So momentum is so important. And what Anthony said there, perfection can kill momentum. Absolutely. So a lot of times when I'm in the studio, I know we're talking about snapshots and mixing here, but a lot of times what I'll do in the studio when I'm capturing vocals is I will pretend like they're singing it for me. I will take 100% of the pressure off of them, and I'll say, hey, would you sing the song from front to back for me? I just want to get a feel for the song, or I'm just checking my levels, or I want to see if this mic is working for you, or whatever. So just relax and sing the song the way you normally would, and I record it. And usually that's a really good performance. And what that does is it creates movement, and it creates that momentum that you can build on, because that, finishing a mix, finishing a vocal pass, finishing anything is one of those things that just eventually creates momentum. And what happens with the momentum is it's hard to stop sometimes, right? So you just keep going and it just rolls faster and faster, and you can't just stop it on a dime. Momentum keeps going. And once you get that precious momentum going, you can create a lot of things. I'm talking to myself here too on things that I'll hack my brain sometimes, and I'll do this, and feel free to use this trick. I will say, if on something that I absolutely need to do, I'll say, but I don't think I'm set up for it. I want it to be perfect. I'm enough of a perfectionist that I won't do something if I think I won't do it well, which has held me back from a lot of things. But sometimes what I'll do is I'll say, I'm just going to work on this for 3 minutes or 4 minutes or 5 minutes. And then after that, I'm just going to, drink some tea or something. And usually after 4 or 5 minutes, momentum has been created and I can't stop. I won't stop. So Okay, let's go to the comments. You guys chime in if I'm making sense, if you like it. Gregory Price, I'm going to read yours live here. I used to see revision requests as a sign that I wasn't good. I know what you mean, man. Now I like them because it provides a better target and goal. Yeah. That's good, Gregory. I'm like in that position right now where I just finished a 3-song mix, and I was tempted to just send one mix in so that I could do revisions on that one song and apply everything I learned from the one song to the other 2 songs. And then I thought, well, I'm not sure that's creating enough momentum, because I don't want to. I'm kind of in a groove of recording, and I would rather change on the 3 songs what they would have changed on one. So anyway, that's a good point, Gregory. It's you said, I'll quote you. Now I like mix revisions because it provides a better target and goal and momentum. You see the finish line coming up, right? Can I get an amen? Hey, there's Dr. McFarland. Hey, Doc. Nathan McFarland. Hey, so anyway, anybody have any pushback or anything they want to add to that? I would love to know it. I feel like I said what I know about it and what's helped me the most about it, and hopefully what helped my friend the other night with his mixes. He was like, I got that visual feedback, and he said, I never thought about it like that. I said, yeah, if you can just look at it like a snapshot, not a full length movie that you're either going to get an award for or not. Just it's another frame in the picture, right? Doing revisions on an artist right now. It's cool. Paul T says, amen. Thank you. Gregory Price says, amen. Thank you. I have to say that more. Anyway, hey, so yeah, I'll leave it there. Thank you, Edgardo. I read that wrong. Edgardo. Is that how you say that? Edgardo Correa? Thanks for coming. I don't think I've seen you here before. Welcome. And I'm glad you're here. Let's see. Reading comments here. I prefer to get paid, but I guess he isn't paying until he gets what he wants. Ooh. Well, that is good incentive to kind of hang in there. But, as with anything else, there comes a time when you have to call it done, and he does too, right? Edgardo. So I said that right. I think you said yes, and you're from Puerto Rico. That is great, man. And I think you're new here, because I don't think I've seen Edgardo, or I wouldn't have called you Eduardo. Hey, welcome. Thanks for coming, man. Yeah, I feel like I've got momentum right now, but I'm out of. That's what I wanted to talk about. Let's see. Here's Gregory. I also like to think that there are an infinite number of good mixes. I just need to land on one of them. That is a great point. This is something I told to a friend of mine the other day. I think we were working at the church, and we were trying to debate on what was the best, how to do it. And he said, I said this, and I do believe this, but he says he makes a lot of decisions based on this now. He says what I said was, and I believe I said it, was I said, hey, there are 5 ways to do this right. We just have to, find the one we like and just go with that one. And he said, wow, that's pretty cool. So yeah, Gregory, I agree 100% with you. Infinite number of good mixes. Absolutely. There's not just one way to get a mix right. You can give a mix to, we do it every month on Mix Coach Member, but you can give a set of files to 50 good mixers, and you're going to get 50 pretty good mixes. Some of which you would have never done that way yourself, but they're still good. So I think that's a good point, Gregory. I may have to quote you on that. I think there's an infinite number of good mixes. I just need to land on one of them. That's awesome, man. Yep. Anthony agrees. Good words, man. I love this. Love this, man. So yeah. Okay, well, I think I'm going to start trying to slow this ball of momentum down a little bit and part ways here. Hey, do you guys? I debated this morning about, and I'd like to hear this from you. Okay, so end of the mixing discussion. Here's a couple things I would like to know from you guys live in the comments, if you would. Do you prefer on this YouTube channel mixing tutorials, which would include thoughts about mixing, thoughts about certain plugins, or would you like to see a live mix sometime? It's something I've debated about doing, like just pulling up some files from, because we've got, I don't know, 60 songs or more that are ready, and just pulling up files and just watching someone mix from front to back. Would that be something that you would hang in there and watch if you had time, or would that be something that bored you to tears? Because I'm thinking about, I like doing interviews. I love the interview we did last week with Justin Glasgow. That was awesome. I loved it myself. I learned a lot. So interviews, tutorials, or like mixing a whole song, which would probably be an hour long video. Live mix sound. So both would be cool. Good thought. Live mix sounds awesome. Yeah, I would like to do that too. It's one of those things where, the lack of momentum has kept me from leaving the station. So here's what I may do in the next, maybe not next week, because I'll be coming right off of a Labor Day weekend. But in the next couple of weeks, I think I may just see what a live mix would be like. And a lot of that would be dependent on how to get audio to the YouTube channel, and it be good enough to where you guys could tell what I was doing. Of course, I can hear what I'm doing here live, but once it goes through the YouTube thing, I don't know what it's going to do to the audio. I can do a pre-recorded one, which is something I may start off trying. So anyway, I may give that a try in the next couple of weeks. Let's see. More comments are coming in. Edgardo said live mix, and then Anthony said a live mix video would be cool. I'd watch it for sure. There are a lot of techie stuff out there, but I really appreciate your approach and sharing practical wisdom about all of it. Thank you, man. And you said also to follow, wisdom is greater than knowledge. I read that somewhere. Yeah, I heard that knowledge is, and you've heard this, but knowledge is knowing that technically tomato is classified as a vegetable, but it's actually a fruit. Wisdom is not putting a tomato in a fruit salad. I thought that was great. So yeah, okay, that's good feedback. I'm going to do some live mixes, and what I may do to begin with is, until I can figure out how to get really good audio into here, what I may do is do a video or pull a video from a tutorial that I've already done and and put a pre-recorded one up here. Gregory Price has some more wisdom here. 67% of statistics are made up. Oh, that's good, man. Okay, let's see. Live mixing is great and interviews are enlightening and be fun, and can be fun to watch, I think is what you said. Yep, Anthony. That's like that thing I heard. It says 50% it works 50% of the time it works it works every time, or something like that. I probably botched it, but anyway. Hey guys, okay, I'm gonna let you guys go, and I'm gonna figure out a way to do some live mixing on here, and even you know what, even if we did this, even if I did a camera over my shoulder and you could see what I'm doing, you might like that too. Like the audio into the camera. Maybe that's what I'll do. So anyway, I'm just thinking about it. Let's see. Maybe more tutorials than live mixes, but both are needed. More tutorials than live mixes. I feel like, Tassie, I think that's a good point, but I think a lot of times the live mixes would have tutorials kind of built into them, but they would be kind of more in a real-time thing. But I don't know. Let's create some momentum. What do you say? I'm going to snap a picture in the next couple of weeks, and we're going to do a live mixing tutorial and see what we come up with. Okay. Hey, don't forget mixcoach.com/coaching. If you want to chat with me about what a coaching program would look like, and if I can help you, there's this. If you go to this link and set up a time for us, it would kind of be to kind of figure out how we could work together and what it would look like. So go check that out when you get a chance if you need some help. Ken Briggs says, yes, watching the mix in motion real time is a great idea. Thank you. Well, that just put the cross the final T for me. I'm going to do it, Ken. Thanks for all your feedback, guys. I really do appreciate it. I really do kind of lean toward wanting to do live videos more, but I really do like interviewing people too. So I'm going to set up some more interviews, and we'll do some more tutorials too. Okay. But hey, it's been good hanging out with you guys. Thanks for showing up, and I will see you very soon. Okay. Take care, you guys.